We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. Hi guys, welcome to a new game that I'm playing. It's been around since, I think, 2021? In November, I think? I don't remember exactly. It's relatively new, but it's an indie game, and it's got the, 64-bit pixel aesthetic that I like. So we're going to dive into this. I'm told this game is anywhere from 15 hours to 30 hours long, depending on what you want to do in the game. I don't know too much about it. And Steam is acting really weird right now, so I can't really look into comments and things like that. But we're gonna jump into this because this is RPG heavy and has just an old game feel that I really miss and like. So let's go ahead and do new game. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but it's a respectable one. And it pays well. I still have my doubts. We're gonna try to be, courageous. I leave the safety of the city walls. Please select the difficulty mode. This choice can't be altered later on. We're gonna go casual. Or maybe we should do standard. I don't know. More casual, the start some quests are more forgiving. I kind of want to do casual just so I don't have a time limit. That's the one thing that I hate about most video games is running out of time, and that just completely just makes me turned off when it comes to a video game. Part of the reason why I don't do Abyss and Genshin. It kind of sounds like the music's a little loud. Yeah, just a tiny bit loud. So we're gonna go casual for this one. If we do this again, we'll do standard or restrictive. Depends on how the game plays. I don't know much about this game, so might as well just go easy for the first dive. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk, nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. I don't know what a palfrey is. I should know. I'm going to look around cautiously. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone noticed the clatter of hooves. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley. This sound does not seem like it went down too much. There we go. Much better. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil. I can't speak now. Of this valley, but you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. I just mount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. Take care of yourself if you're hurt or exhausted. Some actions won't be available. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you'll die in combat. Your heavy boots hit the ground. The pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach carefully and slowly. Looks like it's been ransacked. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. For a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. They don't look like much of a threat, to be honest. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes, his beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. I look at the next person. Just like you, she's wearing a gameson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part, though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. Let them speak first. It's nice to see an unarmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful, the bearded man's voice says, strong yet timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her moment switches from half asleep to relax. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but you were to take the first shift. It would be a huge help. But if you were. Sorry. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a minute. To fully rest, you need a good sleep. I don't necessarily think that I'm happy just falling asleep with them around, to be honest. I don't really know them at all. So, better to stay awake for now. Fantastic, she rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up. Just yell. He drinks from his mug. I ask them about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Don't think any of these are super helpful, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be distanced. I'm looking for your lieutenant. The woman stands up, dusts off her gameson, adjusts the sword at her side, and rests her hand on the hilt. Her shoulders are straight, her eyes attentive. It'd be me, traveler. Are you in trouble? I'm fine. I'm your new Roadwarden. I took you for a wayfarer, to be honest. When you mentioned that your mount is waiting outside, she raised an eyebrow. Shouldn't you unsaddle it? I bet it's tired. She glances at the gate, then at her companion. Her voice drops the slightest sign of weariness. I expect you're looking for directions. I'll help you as much as I can. She reaches to you. Lieutenant Tulia. Yeah, this seems fine. It may be a trap. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first, but you can call me whatever I am. How do you want people to call you? Lito? Nah, just call me Ghosty. The lieutenant stands with her hand out, but then raises her arms with an awkward smile. Of course, just keep your horse away from the tent. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. We should also prepare for the night. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. That's fine. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but it's also bulky. As heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragon Woods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. It's my only companion. It's the only thing I've got, really, that will maybe look out after me. Maybe not, who knows. It takes a few steps toward you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. You speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse snicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You look around for an inn. I need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things. You lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. Alright, big decision time. You want to learn more. As a fighter, you'll have an easier time in physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. You'll be physically more capable than the other classes, what opens unique opportunities during some social interactions. It's the best class for RPG beginners. Darn it. The fighter's weakness is the reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality points drop to 0. The mage uses Pneuma, a versatile but limited pool of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage you'll be able to heal faster while resting. Detect magic in a mysterious area, distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in having no Pneuma left when you need it most. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge, and you'll be able to read the sparse, written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that'll help you escape from many dangerous situations. I don't know. As a first-timer, it should be fighter. I think this one time we're gonna do... Don't mind me. Alright, 1 to 3. 1 being fighter, 2 being mage, 3 being scholar. What we got, guys? Why did I even bother? Somehow I knew it was just gonna be that anyway. Okay, fighter it is. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced, and the spare clothes are still there, just in case you take a something. Hold on. Open your inventory to see your possessions. Sounds great. Unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. Be sure to click on each new item you receive, as some of them have unusual applications. Spare clothes are still there, just in case you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife, nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Hey, return to the shoulders. Taking hits will damage your armor. Sounds great. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I thank them, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she told me about this area. Might as well join them. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. You can find your supplies in the inventory. It's cold gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. Yep. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, and some strange-looking cereals and blueberries. Hey, at least we have blueberries! Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlements stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak with Tulia. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to, and less than I should. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land, adds her companion. Any piece of information may be helpful. The man leads forward, his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I share what I consider to be relevant. What I've discussed with the officials to stay between me and them. Discuss. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Hovleven, I guess, to keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or do they find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Oh my gosh. Let's talk about the peninsula. I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a different palfrey, I'd guess it would be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues, from here you can reach the coast in about a day as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Hovleven officials to keep in touch with coastal villages. Collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools, but maintaining order on a wild coast, such as this one, is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north came to the camp, ever. But when we travel to the roadside inn, pelts of the north are happy to trade and to play dice. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post, and well, he turns toward Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Ghosty, but are you a devout soul? Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. A pagan. I don't know. In all RPGs, it's always a good idea to make sure that your character has some type of thing that they believe in. Without some type of belief system, your character loses special points for certain things. Maybe they're not as effective with magic, maybe they're not as good in combat, maybe they don't have a blessing from their god, so they, are more easy to die. This sounds like a paladin thing. Right? It's gotta be. I guess I'm supposed to, technically. A fellow unite, the man smiles, though in this land it won't bring you much good. At least we can discuss the topic freely, adds Lieutenant with a barely visible smile. Let's get into it. The people here are disquieting. Every few words she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here, she starts to draw lines with her index finger, as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an Emerite. You nod. She means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. I see. You've heard tales such as this one once you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors to mankind. Were you able to speak with these necromancers? Ooh, that seems really important. I want to know that. Is there a monster that could, hurt my horsey? We saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, tree ants, whatever. Cats, large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins, but we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine, the trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. So try to run away. Don't try to fight. If you got food, just give it up. Don't keep it. What was the other thing that they basically said? Stay away from the coast and mountains if you want to stay away from flying creatures. Were you able to speak to the necromancers? You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. Tulia nods. Pelt to the north is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep or the guards. Ask them about the road. What about the east? She stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. She nods. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. Shu, what happened to the previous Roadwarden, do you know? Tulia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you. I don't remember his voice, always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asturian never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement, the man carves with passion. We haven't seen him, or his Saurian. Something ate him, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer road wardens often use four-legged, meat-eating Saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from mini-monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent bystander. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message. Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, says Tulia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asturian's stuff. Wait, she raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. Oh no, he has kids in a village near Havlovin. I was planning to take all his things there, a pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions, quite a treasure, she glances at you, but I would much prefer to bring them to the truth about their father. So, you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We were meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Havlovin together. You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Havlovin in early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt you'd be begrudged. He'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Oh, he's only 5 feet tall, huh? Long red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So, find out what happened to him, dead, alive, left, just let me know. I have lost my rope, could you spare one? You're in luck. She heads toward one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly stands on her chair. Take it, I was planning to leave it behind. I take a closer look. A fine rope, yes indeed. A regular rope made of hemp. Offer some food in return. Tulia leans forward and rests her forearms on her thighs, looking down with clasped hands, then meets your eyes. I normally refuse, but we need some decent food. Every day I'm searching through our grouts, looking for worms and putridity. We forage, but it's not a great spot. Some food rations will brighten up a foggy day. But now, for now, you leave the rope on the table. So, what happened to your squad, Tulia? The man shrugs. Bandits happened, and monsters. A strong band, though, his companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula, in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arms, but she carries on. Okay. If he had decided otherwise, we would all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers, stay there at night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Great. Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away. Who knows where? They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know the enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. Nothing that would surprise you in terms of monsters. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. The other one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his game son. She lets out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. I stay silent. Tulia seems defeated. So how did you become a lieutenant? That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Havlevin chief selects commanders. Those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. You weren't just his successor. You were his successor. Not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. I agree, but so what? He's dead. I doubt he's going to learn much from scolding. Basically, yeah, she says, without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. What was anything I should know about them? If you were me, where would you go next? I could just see everything I need to know, I guess. The lieutenant looks you in your eyes. You know, the usual thing, making roads safe, keeping people alive. I explained that it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. Now, if you have any other questions... The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the north and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here wherever you want, the man concludes their tale, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Talia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. How do I make a good first impression? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes, stick to trade, don't waste his time, show him that you can be relied on. Nice. Time to go to bed. I agree, Tulia sighs with relief, and may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant, she winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help, even though, after what you've told me, I feel like you might be a slaver. Stay tidy to have a better chance to influence others. Okay. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find. I hate apes. I hate monkeys. And there's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall, though it has never tried to get in. Interesting. He points at a gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're a bit heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if this someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. Watchtower. He gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here! He points at the pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view at the northern side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple of hours of sleep on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest. Just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. Thanks. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see 3-horned deer trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a 2-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor to admit their defeat. I don't let it distract me. I keep looking. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Ew. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of muskoxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the bearded man with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with my cloak. Now, any usual story, I normally wouldn't sleep in a place with people I don't know. RPG story, I should say. Aside from the story that I was told that this was originally for bandits and slavers, I don't have any other inkling or suspicion to suggest that these guys are untrustworthy. They definitely seem weary, battered, beaten. It is very possible that they could take advantage of me. But at the same time, nothing about the entire narrative thus far leads me to believe that they're going to take advantage of me. And I'm also probably going to eat my words when I say that. Because that's just how it is in D&D. It's always when you think you can trust people that things go sideways. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. They focus on the real goal of my journey. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your warden duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Havleven officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia, I'm so sorry, and return to Havleven. There you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. My own goal. I need to gather some extra coins so I can help a person I care about. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live a prosperity and safety. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. That sounds cool. I want to be remembered as the soul who brought peace and order to this realm. A hero. I just want to help people, make this region safe for the locals. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past. I wanted to be forgotten. This one and this one, technically. Like, this is like a concrete goal, something ambitious. But this one is just like a long-term, would like to make life better goal. Don't know. We'll say we're in it for the money. You can't travel during the night. Press the sleep button to rest. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious through the pleasant, humid, late summer air. Though the pleasant, humid, late summer air evens it out slowly. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. Sleep. Sleeping in a tent. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain, and the ground won't be painfully hard. I lost appearance. Your face is dirty. You're woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell like a roast. No, burning meat. Burning, rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. You go see what's happening. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Ghosty, she greets you with a nod. We use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it was an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. A traveler or an undead? The later. A young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear. From a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice. It's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most Unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave, it seems. Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asturion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell, mocked in a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. I prepare myself for the journey. Thank God they didn't take advantage of me. Use the travel button to see the map and move to another area. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. Oh, they're kicking you out. I'm just kidding. You double-check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. You put on your gameson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt. Then get in the saddle. The palfrey knickers ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads, north from here. I need to ride north. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you're done with the north, speak with Tulia to return to Tovlivin. Alright, so we're going to pause here for now. We may continue later. I am interested in this, though. I do intend on finishing this game. I don't know if I'll finish it on YouTube. If you guys want to see more of it on YouTube, definitely leave a comment or two below. But yeah, this is what the game's about. It is basically Dungeons & Dragons, but text-based game style format. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next episode, or not, depending on what happens. See you later. Goodbye.